Here's Healthwise with Karen McKay.
Have you ever cringed when you hear someone pop their knuckles, or when you see someone whose joint slips out of place and then they pop it back in? Well, that happened recently at a high school game, and the video went viral. So we decided to look into that Healthwise to learn more about our joints and how easily they can pop back into place. It was a referee for a high school basketball game in Iowa who stunned the players and the fans when his kneecap popped out and he popped it back in. Should he have waited for a professional to do that?
No, I think that was the right thing to do.
Dr. Matthew Ferguson is an orthopedic surgeon at Texas Tech. He says what happened to that referee is fairly common.
He had a patella dislocation or a kneecap dislocation where the kneecap slides out to the side.
He says we all have a groove where the kneecap fits in that space nicely, but if the kneecap is smooth and doesn't fit well into that groove, it's more likely to slide off.
And that's different than a knee dislocation. A knee dislocation is a very traumatic injury where you tear ligaments around the knee.
As painful as it was, the referee was then able to continue the game.
You know, Patrick Mahomes in 2019 had a patella dislocation, which is the same injury that you see on this video with this referee.
Mahomes' kneecap was popped back into place on the field by a trainer, and then he was taken to the locker room for x-rays to make sure all else was okay, and it was.
And when you listen to Patrick describe that, he said he was ready to go back and play in that same game.
So what about people like Zach, who pop their joints for pleasure? He and Case are among many knuckle crackers we found in the newsroom who say they've been told not to do that.
My mom told me not to do it.
My granny always told us.
My chiropractor actually told me not to do it.
Whether you do it because you like the sound, or to relieve stress, or boredom, most people have heard.
So don't pop your knuckles.
So do you?
Yes.
So what about long term?
When you're doing those type of maneuvers and it's stretching and mostly stretching, you're not necessarily damaging the cartilage in the joint. I think it's a bad thing to do when you're moving a joint out of place and putting it back into place and you're shearing the cartilage against each other.
Here's what should not happen when you simply stretch your knuckles and wait for a pop. It should not be painful or cause swelling or change the shape of the joint. If any of those things happen, you need to see a doctor. So overall, stretching the joint is okay, but be careful because moving the joint is not.
Anytime you move a joint, you cause that shear of the cartilage surfaces, and that can damage the cartilage and long-term lead to that cartilage thinning and the development of arthritis. So I would listen to Grandma.
Did you hear it?
A little bit, yeah. I can hear it.
It's not bad. Maybe come back in 10 minutes.
I had no problem finding people who wanted to pop a knuckle for my story.
I'm concerned for Zach and Sydney. Oh, my goodness.
Zach was the worst. Oh, my goodness.